Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night, totally fake Thursday crafting edition here on my page at Heavens to Betsy Cakery. I am going to pull you up on my business page really quick. I thought I had you up here, but I do not. So let me switch really quick. And if you are here, come on in and say hello in the comments. Get comfy cozy. And I'm excited to be here with you all. I'm going to click this here. There we go. All right. I have Kenny's phone too, since my phone has not been wanting to play nice with Facebook lately. So I'm going to pull you up on his as well. Let me get his volume turned off. We are making strawberry sundaes tonight. And as you can probably see, I got quite a bit happening here on my table. So yeah, lots of things happening here. So let me get over here. Here we go. Okay. And click. All right. Hey, Joe, welcome. I can see you on Kenny's phone. I cannot see you on my phone. So I don't know if my phone's lagging. I don't know. Maybe it'll pop up eventually. Teddy just came in with me. Let me scooch that. I was trying to make sure I had all my stuff. I don't know if I do. So hopefully I don't have to run out and grab anything else, but I think I do. I was trying to make sure I had like my glue gun. Okay, I see my glue gun down here. And I'll have to plug that in just a second. Anyway, we are making strawberry swirled sundaes. And so I have these. Let me grab my other camera real quick. And then I can pull it up here and show you a little bit up close. And there we go. Okay. So anyway, we're making strawberry sundaes. And I've got these really cute, turn it this way. I've got these really cute sundae glasses that I got while I was thrifting. A lot of you know I have a little a tower at Westchester Antique Center here locally. I'm in Ohio, so for all of you that are local or somewhat local, stop by. I'll put the link in the comments. It's a really cool place. And so anyway, I picked these up when I was thrifting one day, and I thought how fun these would be to make a sundae. So anyway, that's what we're going to do tonight. I have 4 of them, and it just reminds me, okay, so y'all can see what it says. So anyway, so when I was thinking about what I wanted to put in them, for me, reading the word Smuckers, I just felt like strawberry jam comes to mind. So so we're going to do like a strawberry swirl ice cream to go in them. I might do a scoop of just pink ice cream, like strawberry ice cream, and then I may do one with pink and white. I'm not quite sure. And now that I said that, I just realized I don't think I grabbed my pink paint. Oh, wait, here it is. That's not the one I was wanting. Hang on 1 second. I don't want this one. See, I told you I might not have everything. Okay, so hang on 1 second. All right, here's my vanilla ice cream. And then where's my pink paint? Okay, I think we made behind me, you'll see, you might be able to see, we made, yeah, I'm going to grab my other pink. This one's a little too dark for what I want. Let me grab, unless I have it here, I'm looking. Hang on, maybe it's over here. Wait a minute, maybe I have it. Nope. Okay, hang on, I'm going to grab it. Just 1 second. Watch out, teddy bears. Is that teddy bear? Okay. All right, come back, baby. Here we go. Come on. She's like, aren't we leaving? No, just for a second. Okay, so I really like this one, the folk art in the baby pink for my strawberry ice cream. So I had to run and grab that. Okay, so for the strawberry, I'm using that one. And then for the, they're both folk art. For the vanilla, I'm using the vintage white. Turn it this way. So vintage white and the baby pink is going to be my strawberry vanilla swirl ice cream. All right, so I think I'm going to do a scoop of just strawberry and then a scoop of the vanilla swirl. I don't know. We'll see as we go. You know, us creatives, we just kind of, sometimes we change it up as we go along. So anyway, so I'm going to, and then I'm going to do a strawberry sauce on top of it. I'm also going to do, I need a third one. I'm also going to do just a whipped cream like on top. So let me scooch those out of the way. I'm also going to grab oh, I've got a strawberry. We made those in the membership. So, and then we're going to top it with one of our glazed strawberries. And we actually made these last night in the Cakery. So those are all ready to go. But I'm going to grab these. So anyway, tonight's tutorial won't take us that long. It's so funny, y'all. You know, I say this every time. I'm like, no, it won't take us that long at all. Quick, short, sweet tutorial. And then we're still here an hour later. So who knows? We'll see. Okay, so before I do the ice cream, I'm going to do the resin. No, I'm not. Okay, let's prep our sundae glasses first. Just because once I mix up the resin, I always tell you guys, once you start your resin, the clock starts ticking. So before I, have to watch the clock and worry about my clock ticking down, let's go ahead and get all of our stuff prepped. So, okay, so for me, I'm using, and then let me move some of these out of your way. We're going to use these, but I'm going to scooch them behind me so that way they're kind of not in your way. So anyway, hey, Jennifer, thank you. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. Oh, it's right in front of me. I'm like, this is the mug I had to get tonight. I should have had you guess, but anyway, I got my Never Done mug. Joe, sweet sis, you already know. You're always asking me, what you doing? What'd you do? I'm like, what'd I not do? Anyway, today was one of those, I'm just never done today. I'm just doing so much today. Like, it's been productive, but just a lot of things going on, but good things, just a lot of things. So anyway, let me take a drink. Hey, Jennifer Patton, we've got lots of J's here tonight. We've got 2 Jennifers and a Joe right now. So anyway, I'm going to take another drink and set it over here. Okay, so just have to remember it's over there. I got so busy last night that I didn't even remember and drink it. So, all right, so we're doing the little glasses, and I'm doing. Okay, so whenever I do with this one, it's a solid. And let me know if you guys lose me. We did have a power outage earlier, and I just saw my screen black out, but it came right back. So with me having the 2 phones, I should know, but just in case I don't know, just let me know in the comments if I'm still talking and you can't see me, or if you can see me and you can't hear me, just let me know. But anyway, so for these, they are solid white, so you can't see down in there. So there's no reason for you to put product all the way inside your glass if it's a solid glass and you cannot see it, okay? So for me, I like to put something to build I'm going to put a scoop of ice cream on top. And I like to put something that's going to let me help build that ice cream up. And then that way, hi, Tina Marie. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. So I like to put something that's going to be sturdy in there and then also help me build my scoops of ice cream. So for this particular one, I'm going to attach a styrofoam ball, and you'll see here, I've got this camera on. So you'll see it fits in there like this. And for this particular one, I'm using just a craft foam ball, and it's a 2.3 inch. And then here they are. And then I'm using these little, this is wanting to run. I'm using the little Dollar Tree, just the little clear cups. And I'm going to attach it here. You'll see me. I'm going to attach it here. Okay. And then that's my base for my first scoop of ice cream. And I'm thinking I want to do 2 scoops. So we'll do 1 and we'll see how it looks, because I love proportion, like making sure things look proportionate, because I'm all about realistic looking fake food. So for me, in order for it to look realistic, I want to make sure that I like the look of the 1 scoop. I may be done, or I may add a second one. So anyways, I am going to plug in my glue gun. So sorry I'm out of your view. Let me get that plugged in and grab my little plate here. And then let's grab this. And I'm not really sure how many of the sundaes I'm going to make. I mean, we may just do 1, we may do 2. I don't think we're going to do all 4, but you never know. We'll just see. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get that plugged in. Let me move these out of the way over here. And there we go. I've got so much going on my table tonight. Okay, I've got my resin over here. So anyway, so I'll just kind of, while that's heating up, I'll just kind of go over our list really quick. It's not a lot. I'm using the sundae glass. You can use any sundae glass of your choice. For this one, this is ceramic. And then for me, I'm using the little styrofoam ball to go in to build my base. I'm using the little clear Dollar Tree cups. And then for my ice cream, I'm using lightweight spackle. I'm actually going to use a half and half mixture of the Red Devil and the Fast and Final, just because my Fast and Final is a bit too much on the wet side. I was talking to Kenny today, and he said, I really need to open up my Red Devil. No, not the Red Devil, the Fast and Final, and like really stir it and leave it set so that it kind of starts to dry out a little bit to kind of get some of that moisture to evaporate. And then I might not have to keep doing the Fast and Final and the Red Devil, like half and half mixture. But anyway, we'll see. That's something I'll play around with, I'm sure. But anyway, so we're going to do the 2 spackles. For my strawberry ice cream swirl, I'm going to do the folk art paint. And for me, I'm going to do the vintage white, and then the little, what's the baby pink? Oh, it is just baby pink. Okay. And then baby pink. And then I'm using resin. So for my resin, I'm going to do a mixture for my strawberry. I want it to look like strawberry, I guess like a strawberry jam, because we are doing Smuckers. So I want it to be more like a strawberry jam versus preserves. So like with the preserves, you're going to get like those big chunks of strawberry that look like strawberry. I'm just going to top mine with whipped cream and a strawberry on top so that you know that it's strawberry. So I'm not going to be putting like bits and pieces that actually look like strawberries that you actually can tell that are strawberries. Instead, I'm going to do more of like a jam, so it's more of like mushed up fruit. Is that a term? Mushed up? But anyway, like, you know, mushed up pureed fruit. So anyway, for that, you're going to need resin. I'm using fake snow. And then I've got red colorant for my, my resin colorant, my fake snow, and then, a pinch of my fake seeds for my strawberries. And I think that's it. That's going to go in my red sauce. So I think that's it. Oh my God, love, thank you so much. Tina Marie, you are so sweet. She said she rated me 5 stars. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Like, oh, so much. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, look at me. I'm like blushing. You're turning me red here. So red like my strawberries. Okay, so hey Cindy, welcome. I just saw your name popped up too. So welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna take my hot glue gun, and I'm just gonna put let me see, hang on, that's what I'm gonna do first. Since this sits down in my glass and you won't see it, I'm gonna take a pencil here, and I'm just gonna mark a little bit of the styrofoam ball just so I can see where the hot glue should go. Okay, and I'll stick that back in there. Okay, so I'm just marking it here, and then that way, keep your fingers clear, but I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue, just so that way I can tell where to glue it. Okay, all right, and then stick it in here. There we go. Wispy. And this is just to secure it. Once I add the ice cream, it's not going anywhere. So it just helps it stay a little bit stable when I'm building up my ice cream. And I'm getting ready to glue the little plastic cup on top, and I want it to stay secure that way as well. Okay, so I'm going to glue that in there. We're going to take our little plastic cup, and so you'll see it's in there. And then I'm just going to center that plastic cup, and then I'm just going to gently twist it on here just to kind of give it like an indentation like that. So you'll see like that. I hope you can see. I'll hold it in this camera. Okay, and then once I do that, and then you'll see like there's an indentation. And it doesn't have to, I mean, don't worry about being perfect by any means. All you have to do is just stick it on there. And then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put hot glue. You can put it on the styrofoam, you can put it on the cup. Either way is fine. I'm just sticking it on my cup so that I can stick it right back on those indentations. And then it's just going to melt into that styrofoam. Okay. So there you go. So it'll look like that. And the reason for that is that when I do my ice cream scoop, I'm going to fill up my ice cream scoop, and then I'm going to place it down over it. And as you can see, like I'll hold it up here, my ice cream scoop goes all the way down on top of that little plastic thing here. And what's going to happen is, because if you look, my ice cream scoop is not as big as the circumference of my sundae dish. And so by putting this here, it's going to force some of that ice cream mixture to kind of fan out a little bit. And then it's also, I'm not going to use as much of the ice cream in the scoop, and it's going to fill out my little dish. And then what doesn't, that's where I'm going to place that red strawberry syrup, right? Hey, Anne, welcome, welcome. Hello. Okay, so let's just do a couple. And then, again, I'm just kind of sticking them in there. You know, if you didn't want to mark, let's do it this way. I'm just going to put a little, I'm going to do it this way. Put a little glue here, there. Then that way you don't burn yourself either. I'm just putting like little dots of glue there. That worked, just to kind of hold it in there. And then I'm just going to put some pressure. And then again, the ice cream is going to totally secure it. It's just, we want to hold it there so that way when we're building it, it doesn't move. Okay. Oh, this one I had already played with this. Okay. So a little bit of line there. And then again, so let's just do 2, because you all know me. I like to spend an hour with you, and then that way you won't be here all night with me. Okay. So let's stick that on there. And then we'll just let that go. Okay. And then let me unplug this. Hang on just a second. Oh. Don't mind the noise in the background if you heard something spill. It was fine. No, really, it's fine. Okay. And then for now, I'm going to just leave this here. And I'm going to move this out of our way. Okay. I'm going to put it up high so I don't have to worry about my puppy. There we go. Make sure the cord is out of the way so it's not going anywhere. Okay, cool. All right, so now we've got those. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. I'll just turn them so you can see them. Okay, so we've got those 2. All right, so now, let's see. Do we want to do the resin now? I can move these out of the way. Move that out of the way. Take a drink of water. Stay hydrated. Okay, and let me grab some gloves. Scooch my strawberries out of the way. All right, so my resin, I'm going to go ahead and mix up the resin. And the reason is because this particular resin, I have about, it sets up, it says like 6 to 8 hours, but for me, I've noticed when I'm making like my drizzles or my sauce with it, it can start to get really thick within like 20 to 30 minutes. And so for that reason, it's like, I don't want it to get too thick and then set up in my cup to where I can't use it. I'm going to grab a cup. But at the same time, I want to make sure we have our ice cream ready, because we're going to make up the ice cream and we're going to put it on the sundaes. And then now for tonight's demonstration, I'm going to make the ice cream and I'm going to go ahead and put the sundae, the strawberry sauce right on top of our sundae, and then do the whipped cream also at the same time. Whereas for you guys, what I honestly would recommend is do your ice cream, let it set up and let it get hard on the surface, and then come back and do your strawberry sauce. Just because of the resin, depending on what kind of resin you're using, resin is a chemical reaction. So you're going to get, you're going to mix A and B, and it's going to create a chemical reaction that's going to create that, to get it to harden. And so sometimes with your ice cream, depending on what brand resin you're using, it could get really hot and it could start to kind of melt your ice cream. For me, it's ice cream, so I don't mind that. If it was something else, I would definitely, probably wait, but for this, I don't mind. So anyway, so let's go ahead and we're going to mix this up. Let me move my mouse out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to mix up this, and then I'm just going to set it aside while we do our ice cream. Because honestly, once I do the ice cream and I scoop it on, then it's like, then we may just be chatting until enough time goes by that we're ready for the sauce. So, okay. Again, you just want to, once you mix up your resin, you want to pay attention to the clock because your time starts ticking. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to do, I'm going to make up 2 ounces. I'm going to do 1 ounce on each sundae. Depending on what sundae glass that you do, You may want to do more or less resin. It just depends on how much, strawberry sauce that you want to put on yours. For me, I'm going to do, let me grab a wet wipe. I'm going to do an ounce on each one. And I'm adding, you'll see, we're adding like the snow and the seeds and the other stuff to it. So because of that, it's not going to just be like thin, drippy resin. Okay. I'm going to, I don't think I can tear that. I've got a wet wipe, but I'm going to cut it. I meant to bring, there we go. I meant to bring paper towels, and I don't think I did. So let's cut these up separate, because whenever I'm working with my resins, I don't want to, I always like to wipe the lid off, and I don't, like right now I've got the hardener, and it's like, if I'm doing like A, I want to make sure I'm wipe A separately, then you do B, because if not, then what's going to happen is you'll end up gluing the lids on your little containers. So, okay, so we're going to do, I'm going to do 2 ounces. So for me, I'm going to do 1 ounce of A and 1 ounce of B, and I'm just going to hold it up here. I've got lighting up high here, so I'm just going to hold it up, and then you can probably also see me up here. Okay, so there's 1. And let's wipe this. And then put that in that garbage, and then we're going to switch. Okay, so for me, I'm doing 2 ounces. So for me, it's 1 ounce A, 1 ounce of B. I'm using a cup with measurement, so that's how I'm doing this. So if you're wondering, like, what is she doing? Why is she holding that up? There we go. And then wipe this one off. And then I just play around with my colors until I get the colors that I want. So depending on what resin colorant that you are using, I'm going to take that glove off because I got a lot on there and I don't want to get it all over my resin colorant. So I'm going to switch real quick. Let's grab a spoon. Okay. So just depending on like what brand you're using may determine like how much color that you add. For me, I'm using just a solid red. And so for me, I'm using 10 drops per ounce. So it sounds like a lot, but this one's a very transparent red. And so for me to get the color that I want, it took that much. All right, so now I'm going to be quiet. The only time I'm quiet is when I'm counting drops. So hang on just a second. There's 10. And 10. Okay. My members always tease me because that's the only time they know that's the only time I'm quiet. All right, so I've got 10 of those. And then before I add anything, I'm just going to stir that up really good because you really want your resin colorant. So you'll see, you really want your resin colorant to combine before you start adding to it. Okay, so that way it's one consistent color. Also, when you start to stir it, like sometimes I use a clear spoon, like right now I've got a white spoon, and like you can see like the resin colorant is still on the spoon. So I'll just keep stirring it until I can tell, until I don't see like those red streaks where I know that colorant is sitting on the spoon and it's all consistent one color. Okay. But anyway, you can make it any color that you want. So I have a membership, the Cakery classroom. In our classroom last night, we did a patriotic, I don't know if you can see it behind me. So we did a little patriotic berry sundae. And so with that, we did work with some resin. And instead of this really bright red, like for a strawberry, this is more of like a strawberry gel, strawberry glaze. We did more of a berry color because there's blueberries and strawberries in that one. Whereas this one, we're just going to do strawberry theme. So I'm just going to keep it pretty red. Just like if you've ever made like a strawberry pie, like a homemade strawberry pie. I wanted it to look like that color of red. Okay. All right. So now it looks pretty good. I've got it combined. And then the next thing we're going to do, oh, my nose wants to run. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my fake snow. Let me grab a wet wipe for my hand, just make sure. Okay, and then this is just fake snow like you would get at Christmas time. Us crafters, we have everything. So what's great about it is it's snow from, Christmas time, but we find ways to use it all year round. So, okay, so anyway, so it looks like this. It's just like a little white flakes of snow. So I'm going to use 2 teaspoons per ounce. So for me, I'm going to add 4. So 1. And they're just, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. I just stopped talking for a second. Okay. So I'm just going to add the 4 teaspoons and then I'm going to mix them in. And the reason for the snow, the reason I added the snow is I wanted to make it, again, mine's going to be like that mushed up pureed fruit. And so I really wanted my resin to, when it cures, I want it to have like that thicker berry, like fruit, not fruit. I wanted to have more of a berry, like a strawberry fruit, not puree, but, chunks. And then for a real strawberry, when you cut them open, there is, different shades of red, pink, and white in there. So just make sure if you use this to get it stirred up really well, you don't want to see like a solid piece of white snow. But I will show you. Once you get it stirred in, it's not. Like it just blends in there. Okay. Hey, Margarita. Hello, hello. Yay. So happy you caught me live. I'm missing you. So good to see you here. So yeah, we're doing a strawberry swirl sundae. So yeah. So right now we're just mixing up the strawberry sauce. Okay, so we did the resin and the colorant, and then I just added snow to give it some texture. And then we've got our, my red sugar too. I forgot about that. So now I'm going to do, what am I doing? I'm doing a pinch of seeds. So in my membership, I teach how to do lots of different fake foods. And one of them is to do our strawberry jams. And so in that we did, I showed you how to make those. And so one of the ingredients is our little fake seeds. So I'm going to do, what am I doing? 2 pinches. I got my notes here. 2 pinches per ounce. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got 4 pinches of seeds. And when I say pinch, I'm using this that actually says pinch. Okay. So I got 4 pinches of seeds, little strawberry seeds, so that it looks realistic. And then I'm going to do a dash. And let me switch. Again, this one says dash, so you can see it right there. And I'm going to do 2 dashes per ounce. And we've got 2 ounces, so I'm going to do 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then that's it for our strawberry jam, pretty much like our strawberry jam. Okay. And then you just want to mix this up really good. Because we put the seeds and that sugar in last, you just want to incorporate, make sure that you really stir it up good so that they're not just sitting on top. And I'm going to be dividing this. This is 2 ounces. So I'm going to be dividing this in half, like on each of the sundaes. So anyway, so you just want to stir it up so that way they're not all sitting on the top or sitting at, sunk to the bottom. Anyway, so I'm going to give you another peek so you can see now. It looks starting to look more like a jam, but it's still very wet and thin because we just started. So, okay. So now I'm going to set that aside, and it's resin. So it's going to start doing its thing, starting to set up. In the meantime, we are going to, let me grab my scale. We're going to mix up our ice cream. So let me zero that out. Here they are. And let me this one. Okay, and oops, let me zero that out. Okay, so I'm going to mix up 4 ounces tonight for each of the color. Tina Marie, the last thing was the red sand. Yep, red sand. So for the, it was the resin and then the snow and the seeds and the red sand. Yep, so just 4 ingredients for that one. Here, I'm going to move these off my table. I've already used them. We don't need those. And then I'll make sure that sits there. Okay. And then I'm doing half and half. Now, if you have Fast and Final that's not really wet, you may not need to do this at all. You may be just fine just mixing up ice cream just like it is. But for me, mine's too wet. So it's not good. Okay, 2 ounces. And then I'm going to switch and use a different stick. Let me set this one. I'll set that right there. Okay, and then I'm going to set this here so that way, before I leave, I won't leave out of here. Here, I'll scooch them there for a second. I won't leave without making sure that lid is secure. me scooch those back. Okay. And then, oh, you know what? Hang on one second. No, that's fine. No, let me go back. Hold on. I forgot. We're doing, let's see. Let me have these. I'm doing different ones. We're going to do a salad and a swirl. So let me have that one back. Okay, there we go. There, I didn't tighten it down. Okay, so that's 2. Grab that spatula. You're welcome, love. Okay, and let me add to this one. Like I said, when you are working with resin, like when I'm not in camera, if I'm doing other stuff, I set a timer because otherwise I just tend to get busy and then, you know, not so much I forget, but I forget. So, and then you'll turn around and your resin will be, oh wait, your resin will be set up in your cup instead of on your item. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to do, okay, we're going to do the whipped cream too. So let me do a third one. I'm just going to do all the same at first. Okay. So we're just going to mix up all. Well, I mean, I'm going to do a vanilla ice cream, like a vanilla ice cream, a strawberry ice cream. Then you'll see we're going to mix them together. But I also needed a third one because we're going to do whipped topping. And I forgot about that. So that's why if you see me having 3 buckets, that's why. Let me get those down in there. Okay, perfect. Okay, then let's put that over there. Okay, now I can put that one back. Okay, I thought maybe I didn't open this one. All right, let me get a brand new one. And let's turn this. And we'll make it 4 ounces. So I'm just using my scale and I'm doing half and half. So it's going to be 4 ounces of like product. So 2 of each one for me. Again, if your Fast and Final is not super wet and you can use it as is, then yay. Like I would absolutely do that. Mine is not like that. So for me, it's necessary for me to go through and let me stir this on the bottom a little bit. I can see a separation here. So anyway, for me, it's necessary to do the half and half mixture. Otherwise, it's just too wet. Okay. Almost there. And yep, there's 4 ounces. Okay, and then one more. And then we will stir up. So in between like the steps that I'm doing, I will go back to my little cup of resin and stir it just to check on it. But yeah, definitely have like your cups ready ahead of time before you do your resin, just so that way it's like you don't take, you know, less chances of it setting up in the cup instead of putting it on your product. Perfect. There we go. Okay. So now set these over here. Okay. So I've got this one. I'm just going to stir this up to combine it. I'm actually going to do it for all of them. All right. So it's just combined a little bit. And then let me stir this one up too. Hold on to that. But if you guys have any questions, oh, good. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome, welcome. What are you mixing? You are a first timer. Welcome, welcome. So happy you're here. I'll show you both of the containers. I'm using Fast and Final. They're both lightweight spackle, but I'm using Fast and Final. I'm mixing up 4 ounces. So I've got 2 ounces of Fast and Final and then 2 ounces of the Red Devil. And the reason for that is because my Fast and Final is just too wet. And when I mix them together, I get a different consistency and it's going to work better for my project. Now, for you guys, if you have Fast and Final and it's not too wet and you can use it as is, then by all means do. Mine used to be, but for some reason, the last couple gallons that I purchased are just too wet. Although I said earlier in the video, my husband and I were talking today, Kenny, and he was saying, you know, maybe we should leave the lid off and like babysit them. And then maybe Maybe it'll get a little thicker. Okay, I'm going to use this stick. Here, I'll lay that there. I'm going to make the strawberry now. Wait, let's stir this up real quick. Okay, so it's definitely getting thicker. We are still good. Okay. All right, so leave that there. Okay, and I'm using the pink Folk Art in the baby pink, and I'm going to add 0.4 ounces. We got 4 ounces. I'm going to add 0.4. I usually try to do, well, I do recipes for everything. Y'all know. My members that are here, you're like, you know, that's how I work. You don't have to do that, but for me, I do it just because, you know, it just makes it easy for me, because then if I make something and I want to make it again and I've created the recipe, it just makes it easy because I know I can go back and I can recreate it and I'm going to get the same look. So that's the first and foremost reason. And then the other reason is just, you know, it takes all the guesswork out for my members. It's like if they want to make something, they know that, you know, I'm going to go ahead and do all that research and all that planning and figure it out for them. And then, you know, if they want to make it exactly, they know that they can and that it will turn out the same. And then if not, they know, you know, I always encourage you as creatives, you know, make it your own. So, you know, as you're going along, it's like, you know, just get creative and do you. So, you know, add different things, add different amounts, like whatever you want to do, just make it your own. Okay, so for this one is our strawberry. I'm just going to mix it up, strawberry. Just like that. Turn my bowl. I still have my gloves on from the resin. I don't need them on for this. I just realized I still have them on, but that's okay. Okay, and I'm just going to leave this sit out for just a minute and move this over, and we're going to switch. So there's the pink ice cream. Okay, now we're going to do vanilla, and then the white will just be white. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm adding the vintage white, and I'm going to do a 0.4. Now, you could use any shade of pink that you wanted to get the shade of vanilla ice cream that you want. I do different projects, and I will use different colors depending on what, you know, what project that we're working on and what outcome that I'm after. Let me grab a new stick. There we go. Now, with my ice cream, you know, as I said in the membership last night, you don't, if you're making vanilla ice cream, don't use white spackle. Like, definitely color it, because when you go straight, when you just use like the straight spackle out of the container, it looks more like whipped topping. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just looks like the topping and not ice cream. Most vanilla ice creams, you know, even if they're like the soft serve coming out of a machine, they still have a hint, like an off-white. Like, they're not bright white like you would see in your whipped topping. So even if you don't add, you know, a lot of color to it, just, you know, just add a slight bit of color, just so it's not like a stark bright white. Okay, and then I'll show you what I mean. All right, so these two are going to be our ice cream base. So there's your vanilla, and there's your strawberry. You'll see, let me wiggle. My screen was blacking out. So there's our two colors, strawberry and vanilla. And then the last one is going to be the whipped topping. Let me grab another one of these. So yay, Elizabeth, welcome, welcome. So happy to have you here. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments. Always happy to welcome in new people. I know we all were new once, and we all had questions, and we still do. So if you have any questions at all, put them down there. Okay, so with this one, I do have the spackle, but I do like to add white. So let me grab my Snow White, and I'm going to add a little bit. Okay. And there we go. Okay, so I'm just adding just a little bit of white to mine, just to brighten it up a little bit more. Sometimes your spackle can be a little bit off-white or a little bit gray. And when I'm doing the whipped cream or whipped topping, for that, I definitely want to make sure my topping is bright white. Okay. Okay. So now I'll show you the difference. So here in my left hand is our vanilla ice cream, and there's the whipped topping. So you can really see the difference in the colors. So yeah, so you definitely want to make sure that you tint, you know, your vanilla ice creams. Don't leave them just that stark white. Okay, now we have those. Let's check our resin. All right, we are still good. Let me show you. So here's our strawberry sauce. It's getting thicker. So we're doing good. I'll set that back down. Okay, and then let me grab a wet wipe. Elizabeth says, is this similar to fake bake with clay with just a different material? It can be with fake bakes. So for me, my lane is realistic looking fake food. So that's where I'm at. But I do use lots of different clays in lots of the different fake bakes that I teach. For tonight, we're doing ice cream sundae, so I'm not using any clay material. But in many of the things I do teach, even though they look realistic, I do use clays. So it just depends on the look that I'm going for. So yeah, it is very similar though. Yep, with just different materials. Lots of different materials. Like there's so many different things that we can use for our fake bakes to achieve different looks. So, okay, so we have those. Next, I'm going to grab my powdered. This is grout, and I'm going to add, not in my icing, but in my ice cream. I'm going to do, and let me turn it around and I'll show you. All right, so for my ice cream, I'm doing the unsanded grout. Let me hold it up here and you can see it better because it's a big bag. With this, just be really careful. I don't want you to breathe it. It's like super fine dust. But I don't use like any real materials like some people, like especially if you're new, Elizabeth, like so next month I'll be doing this for 5 years. My business will be 5 years old and the membership will be 4 years old. So I've got big anniversaries coming up. But when we first started, we used flour to thicken our ice cream. And I don't use that anymore. So for me now, I use other materials that are not going to break down and cause any issues for myself or my customers. So, and that's what I recommend to, anybody watching and, any of my members. Like, it's just the way I teach it, just so that way it just creates a better finished product and one that you don't have to be, so worried and concerned about. Okay, I'm just doing 1 scoop. And I'm going to gently stir it. You don't want to stir too hard to where you get like that puff coming up and you're breathing it. And if you are really sensitive, you definitely could use a mask. But anyway, so what I'm doing is I'm stirring this in, and what it's going to do is it's going to start thickening up my material, like my ice cream, and it's going to make it thicker. So I should have showed you before, but doing it this way, it just helps with setting it up. And also when you add that additive to it, it really pulls the moisture out of the spackle. So, okay. And I only use this for my ice creams because it will leave a texture. And for me, when I scoop, it leaves a really nice texture that looks like scooped ice cream. So I really like to use it. And I don't use it every time. Again, it depends. I make a lot of different products. And it just depends what I'm making, whether or not I choose to add it in. Okay, so let me get this stirred up. And check my time. We are doing good. I just don't want my resin to set up before we want it to. Let me get this stirred in. Okay, once it's stirred in, then I can really stir it in good. Okay, I did bring a mason jar with some water and my wet wipe because well, actually, maybe I'm just going to do swirl because I was thinking about a solid. Remember when I started? You know how us creatives are. Sometimes we change our minds and sometimes we just decide as we create. But anyway, I've got another dish and I'm going to show you how I make a swirled look. I kind of did it a couple weeks ago with my, or was it last week? Time is flying. When I did my cotton candy ice cream, we're going to do the same effect here, only with strawberry. So let me close this up. And then the white, we're just going to put that in the piping bags. I don't need to worry about that right now. Okay, so let's check our resin. Okay, it's getting thick, but we're doing good. All right, so I've got my container. And next what we're going to do, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to move this over to here for now. That's just the whip topping. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ice cream and I'm just going to put portions of it throughout this container in different places. And then we're going to scoop. And when I do, you're going to get that swirled look with the ice cream. Okay. So I'm going to show you. I'm just putting it in different places. No real rhyme or reason. Just make sure that you put it in different places to where when you do add like the vanilla, you just want to make sure that when you do add it, that when you scoop it, that your ice cream scoop is able to pick up on the different colors. Okay. And I'm going to leave a little bit in here to throw on the top. Okay. Now let's go to this one. I'm going to turn my tray. Let's put some down here in the middle. And we're doing a strawberry swirl, so I don't mind, you know, if it touches or if it has more strawberry in one place or more vanilla in another place. I don't mind at all. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to layer a little bit since I saved some. I'm going to put some more up here and here, just so that way, because once I start scooping, oh wait, let me add a little bit more here. It's going to combine. All right. All right, so I'm going to stick those over there. Okay, so you'll see it kind of looks like this now, just kind of different colors. Hey, Lori, welcome, welcome. Let me check our syrup. Okay, we're still good. Okay, it's getting thick though, so we're gonna check our time. We've only got a few more minutes before that resin really starts to set up. So now I'm gonna grab my sundae. I'm gonna grab my ice cream scoop, and I'm just gonna scoop. And I'm gonna grab this one back. I really like when my ice cream has that little edge on it. So I'm going to make sure that it does. And again, remember we glued that the little container on here, the little plastic container. So when I put it down on here, you're really going to press and then you're going to release. And then I'll show you. So there you go. So it's going to look like that. So now you'll see that strawberry swirl look to it. Okay. I just want to make sure my ice cream looks level. There we go. Much better. Okay, so there's the first one. And then I'll grab this one. We'll do a second one. Grab this one. And I'm just kind of smushing it down inside here. Again, once you do it, that little cup is going to press some of it out. And that's okay. See the front of my cup. Just kind of holding it over top of my, there we go, there, over top of my little dish in case it falls off. It will fall into my plate there. Not my plate, but you know, my little thing. Okay. And then again this way. Let me turn it this way. Okay. And then you'll see this one. Looks like that. So thank you so much. I know, right? They look really cute. Okay, so I'll show you. Here's the two. So I don't know if I want to put I don't think I'm going to do 2 scoops. And the reason being, let me make sure my ice cream's where I want it to be. Okay, I don't think I'm going to put 2 scoops. And here's the reason. I'm going to put these glazed strawberries on top with whipped cream. And so I think that by the time I get that strawberry glaze on there and we do the whipped cream on top, I think it's just really going to be tall. Do you know what I mean? Like really tall. So here, I'll hold it in this one. So I think it's going to be really tall. And I think that to do that, my ice cream looks crookedy. Let me squish it over here. Oops. Here, I'm going to fix that. I'm like waving in it. I don't like the way that looks. I tried to move it and I squished it. So I'm going to add some to the top here. There we go. Yeah, I think that I think if I try to add too much, I don't think I'm going to do 2 scoops. I think 1 is good, but I like that extra little bit. So hang on. I'm going to put some more on the tippy top here. You're not really going to see that because the whipped cream, the whipped topping is going to cover that up. but I'm going to go back to this one. We're going to add a little bit more on top. Okay, cool. All right. And then there's that one. Okay, now let me move this out of the way. And then, okay, so I've got my parchment paper here. So I'm going to put this in front of me. Grab this one in front of me. So when you're using resin, let me scooch those out of the way. You want to make sure, got too many things in front of me. Hang on. There we go. Sit that over there. When you're using resin, you just want to make sure that whatever you set them on, that you are not going to pick them up and move them after you set them. Okay. So let me see if I have one of my trays handy. I should have brought one in. I don't see one down there. I thought I had one. Let me look over here. Oh, hang on just a second. Sorry, I'm out of your view. Sorry, teddy bear. I'm sorry, teddy bear. So sorry. I'm looking for a tray. Here's one. Okay, cool. You're okay, baby girl? Okay, I had a tray. Oh, we'll use this one. And let me cut this really quick because my resin is going to be setting up really fast. So I just noticed the clock. So we're good. But it's going to, now it won't be cure and dry fast, but it'll just get to where it won't want to come out of the cup. Like it'll want to set up in the cup. So let me trim this a little bit. Okay, so I'm putting it on this little tray. And that way, when I do my resin, I'll be able to move I'll just be able to move my ice cream and I won't be stuck on my table here. So, oh, thanks so much, love. I'll show you again real quick before I do the resin, because once I do that, okay, so here's our strawberry sauce. So you can see the seeds in that. By adding that sugar, it gives it that, I don't know, it's just like that grainy look that you'll see sometimes in like real jams. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me turn these around. And then here you go. So look, yeah. And then here's this one. Turn this one around. So yeah, so there's our two strawberry. I guess I should have named it strawberries and cream sundae, shouldn't I? And think about it. Okay, so now I'm going to bring these over here on let me flip this piece over. Yeah. There's a little bit of resin from another project. So I'm going to bring both of these onto my tray. And I'm putting, whenever you do like your resin or your toppings, you want to make it whatever you like, have it facing you, like whatever you want the front of your like sundae to be, have it facing you. So that way it's like you can really see what, you know, if what it's going to look like when it's finished. Like you just want it facing you. And then that way, once it dries, you don't have to worry about what direction it is. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take my strawberry sauce and you'll see, let me show you this, what I was saying in the beginning. I added that extra little, the little plastic cup, remember the styrofoam ball and the little plastic cup, because I knew my scoop, my ice cream scoop was not going to be, it was smaller than the circumference of my little sundae dish. So you can see like right here, like the back of my sundae where like it's the ice cream scoop didn't go over it. That's where I really want to put emphasis and put that strawberry sauce, because of it being resin, I really want it to kind of drip off of that. And the same with this one. Like I really want to put emphasis here. And then again, there's some in the front here as well. Whoops, I'm up too high. Sorry. And then up here. Okay. So I'm gonna leave them like that. Now for me, I don't mind drips. Like if it drips and gets on my sundae dish, I really don't mind, because I feel like that's just realistic. You know what I mean? Like when I make, you know, real sundaes here, they get drippy too. So I don't really mind that. So, okay. So I'm going to just take a little spoonful and I'm just going to put it right here. And then you'll see it dripping down the side. Can you see it? Okay. Now I may want to wait a little longer. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put this one on that one too. So it'll just give me an idea of how, if this is ready or not. Like my resin, if my resin is ready or not. Because I'm going to let that one drip too. I just like the look. You don't have to, but I like the look. Okay, so I'm going to leave it do its thing. And then I feel like, oh, that's my alarm. I got 5 minutes to go. So hang on. We're going to turn that off. Okay, and then I am going to do more, but I'm going to let this set up for a little bit more. And then, see, now I can move my tray a little bit. You can still see them. Here, let me scooch it this way. There, you can see them. So yeah, they're a bit drippy down here. But anyway, so I'm going to, before I keep going with my resin, here, I'll just set it there. I'm going to put my icing in a piping bag. Get that ready. Okay, so remember we did the third mixture. And that one I just added the white paint, and that's going to be my whipped topping. And then again, I made the strawberries. We made those in the Cakery, and I just have those ready to go. So I'm just going to take those and just, after I put my whipped cream on, I'm just going to nestle one down into the whipped cream. Okay, so I don't usually wear gloves when I'm doing my icing or my ice cream, my spackle. So it feels kind of funny, but that's okay. Okay, so I just wanted to give that resin a little bit more time. Okay. Usually about 30 minutes. 30 to 40 is kind of, well, it's kind of my sweet spot, but it also depends on how much. And right now I've got 2 ounces. So when I do like one at a time with 1 ounce, usually 20 to 30 minutes works really well. So I think it just depends on like what you're, how much you're making and, how much you mix up. You just don't want it to set up and cure in your little cup. You know what I mean? Like you just don't want that to happen that way. Okay. So I use a piping bag. I didn't look at which tip I'm using. I usually use an open or a closed star tip. Those are typically the two that I go to when it's like my whipped cream, like my favorite. I'll show you one of that I did last week. I don't know if I showed you the finished one. I don't think I did. Yeah, but I'll show you that. But anyway, and then I'm not ready to use this just yet. Let's check our stuff. Okay, so I'm going to put some on top of the strawberry ice cream also, but I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time. I'm not going to be able to finish this. But anyway, I'm not going to end up doing the whipped cream and the strawberry, but I'm going to show you my finished one. But anyway, what I do is I always will test whenever I'm doing a piping bag, like put your icing in there, and then I just always put it in and do a little test like this, just to make sure, you just want to make sure there's like no air bubbles, like, no pockets, because you just don't want to, once you put it in your bag and you're squeezing it on your product, you just don't want it to have, you just want to make sure your final product, you're not having an issue. So, okay, so I'm going to bring it back here. And then, like I said, here's my strawberries. We made these in the membership last night. So let me just show you some of those. They look like this. They're just glazed strawberries, like little strawberries we're going to put on the top. So I'm running out of time right now. Anyway, I'm going to add whipped cream. Here, let me show you this one really quick. This was our cotton candy makeover for our funnel cake. So anyway, so I'm going to do the whipped cream dollop after I finish putting the rest of the strawberry sauce on my ice cream. Then I'll finish this with the whipped cream dollop and then the strawberry on top instead of a cherry. So anyway, so I will post pictures so y'all can share and y'all can see, and I will share with you. But in the meantime, it's still getting thick. So I'm going to kind of give this a few more minutes. I don't mind that it dripped off. I'm totally fine with that. But I'm going to put it on the top of my ice cream. And I just want to make sure that I just don't want the whole thing to start running off. Okay. So anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate you. And yeah, so I will show you. Let me hold this up real quick. I don't want to drop them. But anyway, this is what we made tonight, and I will show you the finished one. I think my resin needs just a little bit more time to set up, and then I'll put the sauce on it, and then and then we should be good to go. So it'll be good. And then, like I said, I'll come back in on my business page and I'll just share pictures of my final product, my final ice creams. And these will be available in my Etsy shop, which is Heavens to Betsy Cakery. So yeah, you're so welcome. Oh yay! Oh good, Tina Marie. I can't wait to see yours. So if you do yours, you should put them on your page and tag me. I'd love to see them. So anyway, my alarm is now going off. It is 8 p.m. I'm going to give the resin. Let me turn that off. Going to give the resin just a little bit more time to do its thing. But I promise I will come back in and I will share. I took pictures of the two that we did. Let me click this off really fast. I took pictures of the two that we did last week of the makeovers on the funnel cakes, and I haven't shared them. So I'll also share those with you as well. So anyway, thank you all so much. I appreciate you. If you enjoyed this tutorial and you would love to see more, then yeah, I'd appreciate if you liked or followed my page. That would be amazing. And then I also have a YouTube channel, which is also Heavens to Betsy Cakery. And I'm going to be uploading this tutorial and any other tutorials we do on Totally Fake Thursday over on my channel so that you can always catch the replay, the full replay live over there as well. So anyway, thank you all so much. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night and have a good weekend. So I will see you soon. Bye.